The Kaiser is losing another war, and for that I must suffer. So, let's take a look at this German Empire that's not feeling too hot. We are in the Central Powers, and we're at war with the Allies, and Great Value USSR, who are now rebranding into SSSR. God, that's big. And there are many puppets. Great. So we were at war with half the world. Well, more than half the world, I guess.
I say the whole world must learn of our peaceful ways. By force.
Let's take stock of the situation. Western Front, pretty bogged down. I can reorganize this to be a holding pattern. This is a bit of a problem though. We've lost Württemberg, Franken, Oberbayern. We've lost Bavaria and Franken, which isn't good. I think that's going to be my first priority, get my stuff back. And then there's the Soviet Union, or well, the Good Value Soviet Union pushing in on the Poles. Now it does look like the puppets, the Austro-Hungarians, the Romanians, and the Lithuanians are not involved, which is wonderful. That means the front line is still manageable. And of course, Italy is also involved, and Italy is lost. Italy has been sentenced to time in prison in Vladivostok, along with the Shogunate of Japan. Yeah, in the Italian League. This can only end well. We're still mobilizing more men, so manpower is okay. Focus is construction repair. Yeah, we've pretty much filled the focus tree, and there's no real point in getting any of these other ones. But I am gonna turn off construction repair because we need to replace some of your high command. But let's take a look. Service by requirement. Okay, I get it. War economy. I'd like total mobilization, but we're gonna have to see. These guys are fine. I would replace Otto Ciliax here with the Blitzkrieg Theorist, and I would replace your military command. Von Fritsch has to be replaced by Schorner for more infantry stuff. Erich B has to be replaced by Rommel for more tank stuff. But other than that, this is okay. I think I'm going to be spending a lot of political power on these propaganda efforts because we are going to get bombed to hell and back. Speaking of bombed, Air Force. Yeah, that's not good. We have a lot of CAS, and it's all awful. We're horribly outnumbered in the air. We probably, yeah, we're pretty much horribly outnumbered everywhere, and we're going to continue to be so. So I'm thinking only use our airplanes on interception over our own territory defensively, and try to shoot down as many enemy airplanes as I can while I keep building more airplanes. And we'll stockpile CAS for like desperate offensive, so we can throw them all in there as a consumable, really. Pretty big navy. It's seen better days though, I think. I'm gonna reorganize the navy into one big stack with your many battle cruisers. You've gone with battle cruisers. Okay. I mean, these are good-ish, I guess, but super expensive. I would never make these. Just group them up, redeploy them, and I'll show you what I do with them. As for the army, all right, let's start reorganizing here. No, let's look at the divisions. Panzer divisions. Okay, so infantry, this is fine. 21 with infantry, this is okay. I would maybe add Rangers or maintenance companies to steal some enemy stuff, but yeah, this is okay. Oh yeah, this adds a lot of soft attack. This might be juicy if I added them. Panzers, these are a bit too thick, my boy. So 40 width, not optimal. If you're gonna use tanks, I recommend downsizing to 30 width. That will make them ideal for forests, and the majority of Europe is either forests or plains. In plains, your width doesn't matter. You can smash through anyway, and forests where you might have a little difficulty, these guys are optimal in terms of combat width at least. You could go with 35 width. It's not as optimal, but it will work. But I don't like doing that. What I don't like is that you've gone heavy tank. This is stupidly expensive and still fairly slow. Like, nice breakthrough and all that, but holy crap, our tank's expensive, but we'll check that out. Then we have these guys. I'll adjust these into something more useful. And Mountaineers. These are not good. You want to use Mountaineers, it's fine, they're really good, but you want to change the division template. If you want to use Mountaineers, use these. 25 combat width, so this is about 8 Mountaineers, 3 artillery, and then add support as needed. Anti-air, artillery, maybe engineers, definitely rangers, that kind of stuff. Now, I'm not going to use Mountaineers unless I find myself fighting in mountains, obviously, maybe for like a Swiss offensive or an Italian offensive. I can conclude from this overview that we're fucked, but we're going to try and unfuck this. So let's start by shooting high command and adjusting. Speaking of adjusting, production. No, stockpiles. Like, you've got tons and tons of equipment. I don't know what the hell you've been doing, but it hasn't gone well for you, despite your massive equipment stockpile. So we're gonna start deploying fresh divisions and changing some templates around, okay? If you have 700,000 guns in reserve, you don't need 25 factories on guns. So let's downsize that a little bit. We also have 20,000 artillery pieces stockpiled, so I'll leave this on 5. Same for the AA. Same for the support equipment. Heavy tanks. I like heavy tanks. I like making a lot of heavy tanks. Problem is, and this is going to be a massive issue, chromium and tungsten. We simply do not have access to sufficient amounts of chromium and tungsten. Germany is rich in steel, and you can build rubber and oil yourself with synthetics, but tungsten and chromium are not readily available. Austria-Hungary has a little bit, and maybe we can build something there for them to increase their production, but I doubt it. And the majority of the chromium is going to be over here in Portugal, which is way too far away, and they're also at war, so we can't trade. Up there in Sweden, but the Swedes have blown up their mines, so we can't get to that either. And I think the Soviets have the rest, so the only real course of action we can take here is to kill the Soviets. So we're making a bunch of fighters. We're going to need to make more fighters than this, definitely. We're also going to need to start producing some CAS again, because for some reason you're not producing any, so I'll add that to the mix as well. God, we have so much stuff to build. We'll finish up each of these ships you're making, except for the battleships. They cost so much chromium, and we don't have any. We have plenty of battleships. Just going to get rid of these. I'm just going to finish up the ships in production, and then we're going to either pivot all of the dockyards to convoys, or I'll start making some fresh designs. So in terms of fresh designs for the Navy, now this is not super meta, but this is what I usually do. A cheap destroyer, though I'm going to make it a little more expensive than I usually would. I'm going to add dual purpose guns, the best ones I can fit, best torpedoes I can fit. I'll add a fire control and the best engine I can fit. If you want to make these slightly more expensive, you can also add the sonar, best sonar you can fit, and an anti-submarine. So like something to find and blow up subs. That's always very helpful. And we'll put these into production in future. I could make them way easier by not way cheaper, I mean, by not including the sonar, which is probably a good idea. Doesn't matter as much as you think. At least not on this stage of the game. And these only cost steel, so we're going to be making these kinds of destroyers to keep our fleets topped up. Then we are also going to be making use of spotting cruisers. So we'll take the cruiser hull. We'll add the cheapest light gun we can fit on that, a light battery one. It's really cheap. We'll add the best engine we can fit. We'll add the raiding fleet because they get more speed, more detection, and they're less visible. We'll add the best sonar we can. We'll add the best radar we can. And then every slot that can have it, we're going to add aircraft facilities, so these float-plane catapults. This thing does not fight. This thing patrols, spots the enemy fleet, runs the hell away, and at the same time, your other ships, your big navy who's on strike force, comes in to kill the ships this thing found while it's running away. Research. Advanced computing machine. A little late. Let's look at this. Yeah, let's get night vision. Logistics companies, good, but in Western Europe, not as needed as you might think. We'll use this eventually, and I'll get this eventually, but not yet. It's not as vital for our current endeavors. Let's just get Panzerfausts. Modern tank chassis. Yes, I want modern tanks to replace my heavies. I'm gonna research it, but I'm not sure it's gonna be our saving grace. I'm also gonna need to just like improve the army first, and then we'll do air after. Right now, I want to design my heavy cruiser to help secure my naval assets. So I'm gonna get a better cruiser. It only takes like 70 days. We need to reorganize all of this. So we'll delete all the front lines, and we'll start fresh. We have a bunch of I think these are Turks stuck on Sunderborg. Crush that, get rid of that threat. And then once we've assessed the total amount of units needed for the front line, we'll use the remaining forces to guard our ports, and we'll deploy more port guards. Speaking of port guards, I'm not going to use these guys to guard my ports. They're too big. They're just too expensive to use, so we're going to design something new. I usually go for something like this, 12 width with some engineers, maybe support anti-air. Yeah, it's probably not a terrible idea since we will be fighting under red air. Something like this. I might add artillery, but artillery usually comes at a premium, and I burn through it relatively quickly when on the offensive, so I'll just leave it off these guys. And these coastal guard units, will train 20 of them to supplement our current complement. We've got some tanks in the queue that we'll try to deploy as quickly as we can. We have some tank stockpiles, so getting armor out there quickly is very good. I cannot afford to take too many tank losses simply because they're that expensive to replace. You can tell we are barely making any. All right, you guys may or may not have heard, I am selling desk pads. They've been around for last month, and last Sunday they officially ended production, or they would have. I have gone to Epic Desk on my knees and begged them to extend the sale, and they've agreed for another 2 weeks. So the 17th is the last time you can get these desk pads. You guys asked for it. I tried to go above and beyond to get you guys an opportunity to pick these up after all. So if you want one of these, pick them up using the link down below, or don't. I'm not your dad. Now, back to the video. construction. We're gonna need infrastructure because we need to maximize the amount of steel I can get out of my own lands, steel and other resources. And then we're gonna follow that up with a bunch of military factories so we can actually maybe not outproduce the allies, but at least keep up. Pretty much gonna be mills straight up from this point forward. Mills and some infrastructure. And we'll also need to be building in our puppets so we don't let them break away. Then trade. We are short on tungsten. I'm not going to import it. You might say, but no, you're at least getting some bitter steel. Yes, but my convoys are going to get sunk. We're up against the Royal Navy, the US Navy, and the French Navy. I don't need more convoys getting sunk. It will kill my war support even more than it's already... Oh, God. It already has. We'll trade for what little we can with Austria-Hungary. It's not the best deal, but it's a deal. I'm not going to call anyone into this war. Let's slow the game down and see what we can make of this. Let's deal with this Sunderborg problem. Yeah, it's a couple of Turks and Portuguese tanks. So we'll wipe that out quickly, get rid of that, and then we'll redeploy these guys to the Eastern Front, which needs a little help. The heavy tanks currently on the Eastern Front, we're going to be using them to force our way to the Vistula River. That's good. When that's done, we'll redeploy them. These guys are getting into the positions I want them to be in, and then we'll be able to hold this line pretty well here. This is plenty of divisions to hold this. We're close enough to our own territory. Oh, that spy pop-up just made me realize espionage. We're gonna put spies in Russia, the fake Soviet Union. We're gonna build a spy network up to 50%, then put it on quiet. So we're gonna get 3 collaboration governments in the Soviet Union, because of course we are, and then we're gonna take out the Soviets first, once I've reclaimed all German land, of course. Yeah, this front is rock solid. This front might need a little bit of help, but the armor should more than be enough to quietly edge our way towards reclaiming that area. Eastern Front is actually going significantly better than I had assumed. We'll maybe try and make a pocket out of it as long as troops can reinforce it. Western Front, a lot of pressure here, but I can afford to yield a little ground, and worst comes to worst, I can fall back to the river line. That's the Navy reorganized. We'll split off all the submarines and we'll put them under Dönitz. Not a lot of subs, but probably won't be focusing heavily on subs. I'll put them on medium risk engagements, quickly repair, and automatic split off, and they can do convoy raiding in the southern Baltic. They'll probably catch a couple of Soviet ships. The main fleet here will split into a few task forces. Let's start off with 2 task forces for now, and we'll use them on strike force in this general area just to project naval power, and we'll put them on engage at high risk. The ships are decent. Repair priority. I'm going to turn on automatic split off. This is usually bad because it will leave ships vulnerable on their own, but right now I just want to use it so that the Navy, which is comprised of a bunch of ships that need to repair, automatically disperses itself to all my different ports so I can leverage the fact that I have many factories or dockyards available to repair it. Oh, air. I forgot. Air. We'll stop air superiority and we'll turn everything on to interception, and we'll stop all the CAS effort for now, and we'll organize them somewhere else. Encirclement achieved, and we'll just use the tanks to clean it up. We've got air up everywhere. Now, hopefully, eventually, I can trade favorably enough for our Air Force to whittle down the enemy numbers and keep production high enough that I can get enough airplanes out, but I'm going to need more factories on these planes. I'm just going to need more factories overall. My main concern is that I cannot afford the cost of all this. The heavy armor might be expensive, but it is quite good at punching holes through enemy lines. As long as we don't have too much red air, I should be able to make it work. And we've closed the noose there as well. Beautiful. I'll just use the tanks to clean it up, and the infantry can man the main front. That's the important thing that the main front holds. All right, that gives Poland another lease on life. To the north here, things are progressing as expected. Let's blow up some railways. Still is a good first trap. About 22 divisions we've got trapped here. Let's see if we can get a little bit of an encirclement in on this side. Pinning attacks, and then we'll punch a hole through here. Yep. Okay, Poland is secure now. That's another nice amount of divisions just gone. And we'll bring the tanks over to start our push south here. The rivers are going to be annoying though. Like, the rivers are going to make this a little bit difficult, but I have to do this. I have to at least try. And if this doesn't pan out, I can always see if I can follow up with some trucky boys. All right, let's see if we can make the river crossing happen here. If we can force across, that will be great. If not, we'll have to go back to the drawing board. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's get get some CAS involved as well. At this point, CAS is probably going to be expendable. I'm going to be actually expending a lot of CAS on this simply because they're going to get shot down. We're so close as well, but every time we're about to kick the unit out. No, we got him now. Do we have him now? Ah, we got across. Okay, we're slowly edging our way forward towards the next supply hub. Oh, it's like 2 tiles away and I can't get there. All right, we've made it to Stuttgart. The tanks now just dig in here and prepare for the offensive south-ish, like that. Just hold. No more attacks. Just conserve strength. Make sure we don't immediately get pushed back. Oh, I'm so close to closing this. I'm so close, but it's still so far. It's still so very, very far. But we are closing in. We're closing on that final position. Such a tight fit. Go. Come on. Yes! Okay, so this may not look like full encirclement, but there is no longer a land connection. That means 2 things. The enemy can't withdraw its forces out, so they are effectively stuck. Now, there is still like the river. It's a lake more actually. This lake here, that means there is still a supply connection. So they can technically still get supplied, but they no longer have a connection to the mainland. And without that connection to their main forces, they can't actually get reinforcements in, but they can still get supplies in because of how the lakes in this game work. Oh, now we've just completed it. Yeah, they will definitely not get these guys out. They're gone. Yep. Now they're actually fully encircled. You can see they've suddenly run out of supply. Now we attack. Now we push that. We close that breach as quickly as we humanly can. We throw everything at it. It's going to be expensive. I'm going to take losses here. This is worth it. Yet stop attacking. Could you please just not attack there? I just defend here. Oh, actually, I might want to attack there because that's a good position to take. This is going very, very well. I did not expect it to go this well. I'm gonna see if I can get to Zurich. No, that was overly ambitious. We've actually managed to push back to the Rhine. I think that's most of Germany liberated. Once we get Munich under control, that is most of Germany back in German hands. Fresh tanks are also ready, so I'll have 11 tank divisions ready to go. I am a lot of heavy tanks short though, because it's just so hard to replace these losses. I could assign more factories to this, but it wouldn't matter simply because we don't have the chromium and we don't have the tungsten. I'm just hurting the last remaining holdouts and then we'll have them all dealt with. Nice and contained. Dear God, this is expensive in terms of tanks and artillery. Has to be done though. Yeah, this is like 50, 60 divisions we'll take care of. That's a good chunk of the Allied forces in Europe dealt with. Very nice, very nice. Now, there's still way too many of them for me to just casually stroll on through. Not gonna happen, but it's nice. It's a nice start of the reclamation. And then we'll prepare to take care of the Soviet Union. Looks like we might be able to melt the Soviets here quickly enough with our soft attack. Yep, the Blitz into Lviv. That is more local supply going our way. Consolidate, and then we'll move on from here, because these guys are now all out of supply. Now we can head to this hub here in Bukovina, or push on to Venezia. I'm happy. Well, maybe happy's not the right word, but I'm satisfied currently with our progress. Could be better, but it sure as shit be worse. My offensives have limited success, which is better, way better, than no success. I'll slowly advance there while the collaboration governments build. All in all, I can't complain. Well, I can always complain. It's one of my many talents, but this is really starting to shape up into something that can be won. It's only been about a year and we've definitely seen a good reversal. Germany is free. Poland is mostly, partly, like halfway free. This can be saved. And all in all, we're also slowly eking out air superiority. Well, maybe not total air superiority, but we're keeping the skies over Berlin green at least, which helps to not get us completely destroyed. Once they start dropping nukes though, we'll be in a whole different world of hurt. And it does feel like despite the utter memery of it, my armor has forged ahead. A lot more than I thought they would. They might actually reach Venezia. If they do, that secures me all the supply in this region I'd need for a further offensive down towards Odessa. If they don't, I'm screwed. Yeah, it looks like they won't, so massively overextended here. I should probably pull the armor out before this turns into something really, really bad. I'll slowly take the Russians apart. It's not the fastest way of getting things done, but it will be the cleanest and least painful for us. Pocket by pocket, we'll tear the Russian army apart, the Soviet army, whatever. Oh yes, encirclement after encirclement, taking the Red Army apart. Oh, I'm feeling it now. See if we can get a little bit of a field trip going here. Might not be much. Oh, see the overrun there? Oh, this is good. This is Great. This gives us somewhat better terrain to work with in future as well. And they've stopped attacking somewhat. I think they realized that I might be putting them a bit in danger, right? So we've pushed into France now. Oh, good. Now they know that I'm a threat. Let them fear. I already pushed the line a little bit. I was hoping for pushes in Russia, but supply situation being what it is, that's not happening. But, you know, maybe in time and with enough bombs, I can make it happen. Then again, if I can exploit this and just sweep France, set up defenses here and set up defenses here, I would have options. For the most part, all of our front lines are holding. Have plenty of equipment. I'm mostly lacking tanks, and everything else is being produced quicker than it's being destroyed or lost. So if I can keep the current rate up, I should be able to achieve victory. Now, I'm having some trouble with the Soviets, mostly because there's so many of them. Eventually, something's got to give, and I think we'll be able to get to them eventually. It's just going to be a giant pain in the ass doing it. But I might have better opportunities in France, because France is flat, there's good supply, and I can push my tanks and motorized through. If I break the line and like funnel the motorized and tanks in, I can run amok here. But I don't want to extend my line too much, because you can see how many units are here. If they put on too much pressure and I thin my line too much, they could be a massive problem for me. It looks like the Russians have decided not to stick around on this border for some reason, or they're just redeploying most of their forces. I'm going to exploit that. Quick drive forward, push, 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 get moving. Maybe I can take Vilno or even Minsk if I get lucky. Pinning attacks, force attacks, whatever it takes, just go forward. All right, I'll take... Oh, I've got Vilno. That means these guys are all trapped, so it's not a massive pocket, but we are advancing the front. I'm gonna need to ask Poland for some land, though, because I'm doing all the heavy lifting. I don't really feel like I'm getting a lot in return. All right, we've also taken Minsk, so we have a local supply. Yeah, we have local supply. Okay, front lines moving forward in all directions. Victory can be achieved. Slowly advance the front towards the supply hubs. If I have supply, I can move, and if I can move, I can win. Come on. Breakthrough achieved. Keep moving forward. Keep moving forward. We're at the supply hub. Come on. Push, you bastards. Push. Just need a little more. A little more. All right, that's the supply hub achieved, or captured at least. From there, maybe we can rush south to Kiev. Do like a big encirclement of the center by using the like a pincer from the north, from Bobruisk towards Kiev, and then Vinnytsia towards Kiev. Maybe if we can get enough divisions to move in. This was a pretty big, this was a pretty big move. We've got the railway network to back it up. Just need to make sure the railways are high enough level, because Poland's not going to upgrade these, unfortunately. Just literally inching my way to victory, one bloody step at a time. Let's go to total mobilization, and I'll use women in the workforce. Might as well. We're driving on Paris. Come on, take Paris. I know it's a meaningless victory. Well, meaningless. It will deprive them of a significant portion of their industry, but it's not going to end the war right away. But taking Paris is a huge moral boost to myself, because my god, this has been a slog. I got Paris, you bastards. But the allies are really, really, really angry. I'm fending off quite the storm here, and they're hurting me. Like, even the defensive battles really hurt, and this I might end up regretting, but I'm going to call German-Lithuania in for the Soviet war, just the Soviet war, and then we're gonna rush through here to Jelgava, and hopefully we can push on. I need to change the game, because the game I'm currently playing is not going as well as I'd like. At least we've pushed through, so that's another small-ish encirclement. That is another full infantry army to reinforce the Eastern Front, and that's about the extent of the recruiting I'm willing and able to do. Down to 160,000 men, but at least the war support's holding firm. So I could, if I need to, go up to all adults. I don't want to, but if I need to, I can. And another pockets. Shortening that line in France is going to help. Oh, they're going to regret picking a fight with me. Hey, we've retaken Moselland, so Saarbrücken is free, and that gave us like 150,000 manpower, straight up. 180,000 manpower. Sweet. That is officially every last German territory liberated. There's just like 2 parts here that nobody cares about. I can get them in a little bit. I'm going to need to think outside the box to defeat the Russians, though. Either I use mass wave offensive, very expensive, probably a bad idea, or I start launching naval invasions around Leningrad, create a little holdout there, or launch a naval invasion in Finland and create an extra front to spread their forces a little thinner? Because right now, the Russians have the distinct advantage of only really having to worry about us. They have a lot of units on a very narrow front, is what I'm saying. And if I can force them to spread their units out more, maybe we can carve out more of their territory. I think I found the French Navy and dismantled it. I lost 1 destroyer. I sank 38 enemy destroyers, 2 battleships, 8 light cruisers, a carrier, 3 heavy cruisers, and then shot down some naval patrol bombers. That is the French Navy out of commission. And the UK seems to be resorting to naval bombing and try and take out my fleet, but I think my fleet's just better. It's got really good AA with those battleships or battle cruisers. Let's get cruising down to... Ooh. If I can get down to Odessa. Actually, I don't even need to get down to Odessa. Let's get the Mykolaiv. That'll do. Start driving, you bastards. Start driving. I need everyone else to filter in behind. Okay, we've achieved breakthrough. We have actually trapped them now. Crush, 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 crush. And redeploy infantry to follow behind so the front line doesn't immediately collapse. Go, 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 go. Yes! Okay, so all these guys are now trapped. Well, there's a little bit of pressure coming in from the other side, but I really couldn't care less. All right, infantry out to the exterior front, and the motorized can mop this up. Oh, that's good. All right, that extends the front. Annoyingly, everything still goes to Poland, and they still don't want to give me any land. Forward, forward, forward. Keep pushing, keep pushing. We have the Russians on the back foot now. Exploit this breach. I would really appreciate it if the Poles would start giving some stuff to me, though. Massive success, all in all. Yeah, absolutely massive success. I'm gonna see if I can go from Kiev all the way up to Mozir. Is that Mozir? I don't know. I can't see it properly because of all the units in the way. But I want to encircle the center of the Russian flank. Well, the center of the Russian entire front. And then push out. I've got enough units, I think, to make a drive forward. The armor's rolling forward. Let's get the motorized to do the same. We are approaching Kiev. All right, small pocket, but it's a start. That is at least most of the Russian army gone. Well, a good portion of it, let's say. That is like 50 divisions. Must have been more than 50 divisions, though, we've taken out in total. Oh, they're gone. Let's look at these losses. 60,000, almost 300,000 men in that one pocket. 50,000 in another. Yeah, that was 80,000 here near Kiev. Yeah, that was good. That was good. The last week alone, they've lost 400,000 or 500,000 men. We're securing the Baltic coast. Brilliant, brilliant. That means I can probably start pulling defensive divisions away from this coastline defense in a couple more weeks, maybe? Well, we're definitely achieving breakthrough now. Probably take Rostov next for Shilovgrad. Let's try to cut towards the Caspian Sea and then take all this down south. But the problem is I'll end up with a front with the Allies here, which might not be amazing. Then again, with the mountains, I just need to deploy like one army just specifically to hold those mountains. I'm about to reach the Caspian Sea as well. And like that, we can split off the main front, so I don't have to worry about overextending it. Infantry I had earmarked for this can follow behind so they can set up the future fronts. Kerch is also free and liberated, and now just the last tile of Crimea to be taken. Oh, Americans! And I have no supply because reasons. Let's keep the armor in the area for a little bit longer. Yeah, because the port wasn't fully functional yet because it's getting raided. There is no supply in this region and the game thinks, oh, you have no supply, let's immediately counterattack. That's annoying. Oh, we also now have full collaboration in the Soviets. They will fall, I guarantee it. Just need to get to Bukharino, maybe Moscow or Leningrad, but either way, they're gonna die. My luck holds for just a couple more hours. We might actually make it. Okay, we did it. All right. My own units to the exterior. I'll let the Poles garrison or hold on to that pocket. Motorized in the center here and work your way in. That is going to be a large amount of dead Soviets if we can hold this. We're outside Leningrad. Can we get into Leningrad? Soon, TM. Soon. Take it! Taking Leningrad. How close are the Soviets? They're dead. They're gonna die as soon as I take another major victory point. Oh god, I need to get to Moscow. If I can get to Moscow, this is over. Get to Moscow, It's over! They're gonna cap! Holding my breath. The faction isn't dead, mind you. The faction is still very much alive because I would need to kill Mongolia. I can take Mongolia. Yeah, the distant supply networks have already been disrupted because China took railways, Britain took supply hubs and railways. Mongolia is going to disrupt the Far Eastern Railway as well, just because my forces are that far away. They're just so ridiculous. ridiculously far away. I am now incredibly angry and annoyed. More so than usual, maybe. I'm going to stand up now, flip my desk, break my computer, and never play Hearts of Iron again. That said, well, there goes the Royal Navy. Oh yeah, that's the oh my god, we're shredding the Royal Navy. And I'm not even bringing out the full fleet. This is like one of my sub-fleets. They took a little damage, but battleship gone. Yeah, I think that's the remains of the Royal Navy. Can I see how many ships they have left? Oh, I have 100% intel. They have 52 ships left. Well, I have achieved total air dominance. Cass is helping. We're gonna start pushing the French. I want these guys gone and destroyed. I am going to go for it. Just go for broke. Now, unfortunately, there's no big encirclement possible here using the Swiss border because the Swiss are also hostile and occupied. But that's not gonna stop us from trying to do at least something. If I can take Dijon, I have supply in the area, and I can use this to further my push. With that, I have the required supply to push inland. I am not going to push into the Maginot. I'm not stupid. It does feel like we have the advantage now. I have to press it. Small pocket, but it's a pocket. It'll serve. We'll kill that off. Establish new front line, move further. This will have to do. This will just have to do. Basic infantry to the main front because we are getting overextended, and just let the motorized and the tanks clean this whole thing up. Oh, that's a lot of divisions. That's a lot of divisions we have trapped now. Hey, we've won. I can establish Bourbon France, but they would get Alsace-Lorraine. I don't want that. I want Alsace-Lorraine. I don't want that going to anyone else. Oh, this is it. Total collapse of the French. I would like to order like an all-out assault, but I can't justify that cost right now. Let's just use the motorized, the mechanized, and the armor to just push while we can, as far as we can. So we'll focus on getting to the Spanish border here, and the Italian border secondary. That's secondary. To help deal with the problem that I'm going to create for myself, which is that I'll have way more borders than I know what to do with. This is an opportunity I can't miss. Gotta push, go. And if the Field Marshal order could just keep driving south for a little bit, at least until we've cleaned up the worst of this mess, that will be amazing. Well, let's spread the joy around. I'm going to call, there we go, we're going to call Romania in, and we're going to bring our tanks to bear. So along with our motorized, we're just going to bull rush through here. Get to Istanbul so we can get the straight crossing secured, put some troops on it, and then try to take the rest of the Balkans by storm through here. There goes Soviet Yugoslavia. Wow, that was quick. And with that, we'll probably secure the Balkan in no time. Shockingly, we're actually just tearing them apart. Italy's falling to... Italy's just completely falling apart. Probably bring up some reinforcing infantry to solidify that line. These guys are all trapped. They're going to get crushed. The massive air power definitely helps. With the straight contested, I can at least get my submarines in. So submarines are going to get in there. Try and wreck as much of the enemy fleets as I can, as I have to, and just get these things out there, creating as much chaos as possible. Meanwhile, you know, Spain's overrun. That's all done with. My puppet can have all the land. Yeah, it's just a matter of cracking Italy, and that's just... I need to get through the Alps. Let's see if the naval invasion is going to work. I got as much air overhead as I can muster. I'm going to try to quickly liberate Italy. And if Italy is free, at least uncapitulating them will allow that faction not to fall apart the moment Japan goes, because Japan is going to fall. Once the US lands, that's it. There's really nothing that can be done about that. And I know mechanized units are not exactly the greatest units for a naval invasion, but I have no other options. There's no supply in Italy because the game thinks there is no supply connection from the capital, and that is because the Italian capital is here, and naturally they cannot provide supply here. You know, you'd think that my units would use the very extensive railway network leading to my capital, which is conveniently plugged into the network, but no, they're trying to draw from the Italian capital, which of course is not connected. The range issue is annoying, but it is what it is. Oh god, this is gonna be a pain in the ass. We might actually make it. Okay, all right, the fall of Tokyo. How long is this gonna last? Is it... Japan, just hold out a little bit longer. Oh my god, Japan. No. Now, follow up with as much of this mechanized as we can fit. I'm gonna get as much air overhead as I can. Every airplane I have is gonna be attack, aggressive, attack, push, come on. None of this bullshit, just attack. I don't know if you can... Okay, there goes Soviet Spain, for whatever good that's gonna do me. Ship more of my tanks over. They might get sunk on the way, but that's just a risk I have to take. Come on, link up to the main front. Free Italy. Not that I want Italy that desperately as an ally. I just don't... Just want this war to to be over. Are they closer to uncapitulation? Okay, so like their victory points are more northernly, I think. All right, if I can push through the south, we can keep going. Like more victory points to Italy. Are they free yet? Oh, like 2%. Probably Trento up there. Pinning attack. Go, 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 go. And then down south. The rest of their victory point. Oh god, we're gonna need to take stuff like Palermo. Palermo? Will they succeed? I think they will. And then it's just a matter of capturing Sicily. And that should... Okay, so the Regno del Sud has capitulated. Will that be sufficient? It might just be sufficient. Oh no! All that work for nothing. And fun result of that is, despite me occupying literally all of this, literally all of it, it got handed out. I now have to fully reconquer the whole damn thing. Fortunately, that'll be quick and easy. Time to see if we can end this. Naval invasion of southern UK. I have total naval dominance, but there's billions of Americans here now. Maybe, who knows? Maybe we can make something. Okay. I take my words back. We have made a breach. Just gotta get the Marines over. I mean, the mechanized and the tanks, and we can push out from here. All right, this is go time. Get all the air up I can. Get every single unit over there that is required for this to be a good, solid invasion. Just go. Everyone, get in there. Now is the time to get him. Get him, boys. The fall of London. Oh! This is the end. Feels good. The United Kingdom has capitulated. And with that, the last major European adversary is dealt with. Just a little bit of cleanup required, but that would be it. I am no longer willing to continue this game. I would need to take out Turkey to really secure Europe, or God forbid, I would need to invade the Americas. I don't want to invade the US of A, but that's what I would have to do to get a peace deal. With that, let's end this. I hope you guys have enjoyed my suffering and my slow but assured mental breakdown. It has been painful. I hope you guys at least enjoyed the video, and I hope you guys will enjoy this next video as well. I hope to see you guys later. Bye.